Hello everyone, this is Judy from COXO. It is our honor to invite Dr. Ayoub Benhariga to share his course about the 3D cleaning and shaping. And I also invite our dear DM Shop to introduce its company before the course. So now let me introduce how to get our certificate first. The first step is follow and like our page. And then leave your comment or question below the live video. At the end of the live, we will share from the phone link to the comment below the live video. And please open the link and fill the form and submit to apply for the certificate. About 3 steps are done. In 5 days, you will receive a PDF format certificate in your email. Please note that the form application can be filled only one time and will be available for only 5 hours after the lecture. 5 hours later, the application channel will be closed. So after that time, we will not accept any application. Please fill on the form as soon as possible after the webinar. And the form cannot be modified, so please make sure the information you left are correct. This is the sample of our certificate. Okay, now let me invite our dear to come the link. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
How are you?
Hello. Good. Thank you. Hope everybody are good. We are DM Shop. We are one of the leader in Algeria in dentistry. We are specialized in the digital dentistry, and we also now we being the representative of COXO in Algeria. Actually, we present COXO. We start presenting COXO and having all their products. Our company also have COXO products, and you can see here we have all the products. And if you need, just contact us and calling us. You can see the numbers, our phone number. You can call us, and you are very welcome. And welcome to DM Shop and COXO. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your introduction. So now let me invite Dr. Ayoub Benhariga to come inside. Hello, Dr. Ayoub Benhariga. How are you?
Yes, hello. Fine, thanks.
Bye.
Okay, so we'll start the meeting like in we are streaming right now.
Yes, so now you can share your course now.
Okay, that's perfect. So I introduce myself. I'm Dr. Benhariga. I'm working in Oran. I have a private practice in oral surgery and endodontics. So the topic for today will be 3D cleaning, 3D and 3D obturation. So perfect. So do you have my screen on there?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So hi everyone, welcome everybody. Salam alaikum. Bonsoir tout le monde. So the topic of today will be 3D cleaning, and the title is 3D cleaning and shaping. In reality, shaping is not so 3D. The real 3D cleaning, the 3D will be the cleaning in endodontics. So I introduce myself. I'm Dr. Benhariga, as I told you. I'm a member of International Microscopic Dental Club. In our club, we work to promote the use of the microscope, not only in endodontics for sure. It's one of the big topic of microscopy, but in all fields of dentistry and surgery and restorative dentistry, and direct, indirect, everything in dentistry. And we promote the microscope for learning for the new generation, because it's one of the greatest tools we have in dentistry. For me, it's a very game changer. So it's maybe details, but as say Leonardo da Vinci, details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail. We are rich. Our goal is perfection. Our goal in excellence in the dentistry and endodontics. To reach this excellence, we need some tools. Number one of tools is microscope. The microscope, as you see now, it's first upper molar, and you don't need to be a great endodontist to understand that for this tooth, in this tooth there's four canals: one palatal canal, mesio-umbilical canal, and second and distal canal, and an MB2. I make this lecture because I like lecturing. I almost lecturing. I'm lecturing very often in Algeria and internationally, but we learn a lot. I'm the first I'm the first person that will learn a lot from this lecture, because we learn 5%. People who charity here, maybe we'll learn like 5%. If we are reading, we'll learn 10%. Audiovisual is 20%. Demonstration 30%. Discussion group 50%. Practice by doing 75%. And teaching to others, it's 90%. So I'm a little bit selfish today, because I want to learn. I want to learn every day. So this is what we are searching for in orthodontics: great obturation, anatomy, lateral canals, great healing. As you see here on the right, upper right, you can see the complexity of root canal, but it's not only root canal, it's root canal system, because there is more anatomy than everything. And we have to start with the end in mind. What is our end? The end is 3D obturation. But to reach this 3D obturation, we need a lot of things. One simple example. As we see here, it's a lower first molar. And as you see, there is 3 canals. It looks like a regular tooth. But if we change our radiography, you see that there is curvature. And that's what we are searching, what I want to explain you today. Because we are used to think and work in 2 dimensions in our practice, in our course, but in reality, the reality is in 3 dimensions. So if you look at this tooth, there is a big angulation. So maybe some practitioner will work and will say, the files are not good, the manufacturer is not good, but the most important thing in our work is the practitioner. So we have to learn how to imagine the 3rd dimension. To imagine this 3rd dimension, we have radiography, we have a lot of tools, but not only. So as you can see, I recommend you all the works of Marco Versiani. This is how it looks. This is how it looks, the root canal system. So you will see that it's more anatomy than geometry. It's not cones. It's not something regular. It's very irregular. That is anatomy. And you will see after, our files cannot clean all this system. So let's see, for example, another example. This is first upper molar. As you see, if we ask for people with us today, how many canals, how many roots we have, some of them will say 3, because very often we have 3 roots. But I prefer to say what I see really. What you see really is I'm seeing 2. I see 1 mesial root and 1 distal root. I don't see really distal one or palatal one. Well, let's change the angulation. And what I see when I make this, I will work with my files. I have 3 canals, but these 3 canals, I don't know how to call them. Distal canal, palatal canal, I don't know. Let's see further. One mesial canal, it's okay. And then obturation. When you see the obturation, you will see that there is something unusual. We are seeing like a large root in the distal and a small root in the mesial. We'll see there is example. I showed you this is an example because when you see there's a lateral canal. What it means, a lateral canal? We are always happy to see a lateral canal. Why? Because we made the protocol as we have to do. So we clean this canal, but this canal is not cleaned by our files. How does it cleanse? It cleans with our solution. We'll see further. And it's obtured. Try it three-dimensionally. Okay. What is the goals of our root canal treatment? As I told you, start with the end in mind. What is our goal? Our goal is first cleaning, and then shaping, and then filling, as Schilder showed this a long time ago. But at first, it will be cleaning and shaping. These 2 steps are maybe the same step. Why? Because cleaning promotes shaping, and shaping promotes cleaning. And at the end, we can end with filling. And as I told you, Schiller will tell us what you remove from the canal is more important than when you place inside. Very important for rubber dam. I'm a practice endodontics, so I know that like 90% of dentists in the world don't use rubber dam. So I always promote rubber dam using. It's easier when there's a learning curve for sure, but when you are used to rubber dam, it's pretty easy. So I will show you here a video. You will see how many times it takes, 3 seconds, because very often practitioners tell us, I don't use rubber dam because it takes time. It doesn't take time. It takes time in the beginning where you're not used to rubber dam. But once you are used to rubber dam, when there is a learning curve, and the good side of the learning curve, so place a rubber dam, especially for endodontics, maybe sometimes for adhesion, for composite, for other things, it may be a little bit more longer, but for endodontics, as you saw here, it's 42 seconds, and it's almost done, and it's okay. I finished my rubber dam isolation. It's like less than 1 minute, and you can show it. And to be honest, I'm not so fast as usual because I know I was filming. So as usual, it's like 30 seconds to make a rubber dam. That's it. That's done. Access cavity. Access is important. It's to access to canals and to clean canals. Remember, it's very important. The more important is what we remove from canals, and then we will fill the canal. The access we will use rubber dam, as I told you. The access have to be as small as practical, not as small as possible, as small as practical. There is a trend of ninja, and like trendy access cavity. I don't recommend this type of access cavity because maybe it will occur with broken instrument or some problems. Here, in this case, it's premolar. It's a little bit like easy tooth, so we can clean it and shape it very easily. So as you see, you can clean and shape. We can perform this type of access cavity when we have microscope. If you don't have microscope, it's way more difficult to make this type of access cavity. And then we'll make obturation That's undo. It's regular obturation. Downpack, backfill. We'll talk about this after. And you'll have this kind of cavity. I show you this access cavity. Why? Because I promote certain type of access Ondo access set. It's my own Ondo access set. And for that, we need an equipment. That is the equipment. One of the most important thing in Ondo preparation, I have a lot of respect of old dentists that were used to perform endodontics, manual endodontics. I am from the generation that maybe we work like 1 or 2 years manually, and we are the generation that work only in rotative or reciprocity. And one of the most important tools is the endomotor. The feature that we need for the endomotor is an endomotor for sure, maybe a LED, that's okay also. Cordless, it's okay, light, and the most important is the apex locator. For the C-Smart iPilot, there is an apex locator which is connected. This is very important because we can see the depth and we see the control of the apex locator, but not only. You will see in the video. So in the regular so in regular obturation, you can see that we can use only 3 steps. But the most important feature that I am talking about is you will set a torque, and this torque will guide you for upper shaping, glide path, canal shaping. For the upper shaping, we can use a big torque. In general, I use the same torque. I use a small torque for all the tooth, but we can change the torque during the preparation. It's more convenient for myself to not change the torque. So we can use the big torque. Why? Because we are starting with the flaring. We are opening wide the entry of the canal because we need to eliminate all the dentina and the dentina triangle in the entry of the canal. So we need to perform the flare. And after we'll go to the glide path. The glide path is important. We have to synchronize our canal. The glide path is to create a path for our next files. This steps is very, very important. And at the end, we can this is the shaping. So before the shaping of the canal, we have to flare the canal, glide path the canal, and then can shape the canal. When we will shape the canal, if there is your torque, like here, the torque is 0.2, so it's low torque. Why? Because we are working in continuous rotation, but when there is the torque of 0.2, it goes to reciprocity. It's very secure. Reciprocity is not fast, but secure. Continuous rotation is fast, but not so secure. And this type of devices, we have everything in the same device. So we can use continuous rotation, we can use reciprocity, and we can use upper shaping, glide path, and final shaping. And that's why I'm talking about this device. This device is very, very useful device. Irrigation. That is the most important topic in our lecture today. If there is one take-home message that I want to give you today is irrigate. Copious irrigation, activate the irrigation. We will see the devices for this, but the most important is to irrigate a lot. Why? Because the 3D is reached with your irrigation, not with your instrument. When you see this slide, What you see in red is what your instrument will prepare. This is our shaping. Our shaping is in red. You see? So what we are shaping is 35% of the root canal system. It means that 65% of the root canal system is not even touched by any instrument. What it means? It means that we need something else. All the green in this slide is not touched but with our instrument, and we're gonna clean this with irrigation. So there is the sorry, there is the article from Peters. It's 2001. It's a little bit old. It's old, 21 years, but old is but old. This article it's one of the first articles that show us that we need to we show really what our instrument are touching. So our instrumented technique left 30% or more than the canal surface area unchanged, a strong impact of variation. So metal don't kills bacteria, but it helps. But it helps. How does it help? It helps by shaping. We have to perform a deep shaping. Our shaping is to bring our solution to the root canal system. We have to open as possible, as practical, our canals. And in reality, what we learn in dental school is like some cones, all the root canal system are cones, but this is reality. This classification of Bertucci, and Bertucci showed us with the slide, with the slices of tooth, prepared tooth. This is reality. Reality, it's like more like a tree, like roots of the tree, but it's not something geometric. It's not geometric, it's more anatomic. To be simple, the Bertucci gave us different type 1, 2, 3, until type 8. And all this explain us that when, for example, for MB2, a lot of generation work without the touching MB2. And dentists exist. Why? Because very often MB2 is type 2 or maybe type 3. But when MB2 is type 4, I mean when there is the POE, the portal of exit of your MB2 is completely independent from your MB1. So if you treat all the canals and you miss one canal, you will have infection. It will be a failure, even if you perform a very good root canal treatment on MB1, on MB, distal canal and palatal canal, and you miss the MB2, and the MB2 is in type 4 or type 5, maybe type 6. So in this case, it's a failure. Likely for dentists, very often the MB2 is in type 2, type 2, type 3. So for our solution of irrigation, we need mechanical action. It's a washing. It's like a washing machine. The best example that we have to give you is the washing machine or a coffee. So when we put the washing machine and we put on it shirts and we put the liquid of the washing machine, so we need to activate. It turns. When it turns, it mixes water, liquid, and your shirt. So that's how the cleaning is performed. Or maybe, for example, if you take a coffee and you want to make sugar in coffee, if you put just sugar in the coffee and we taste the coffee will not be sweet. To have a sweet, some people like sweet coffee. I don't like sweet coffee, but some people like sweet coffee. So you put sugar in it if you want sweet coffee. So you need to move the spoon in the coffee, and then you will have a sweet coffee. It's the same for irrigation. And this is mechanical action. It facilitates dentin removal. It acts like a lubricant. The solution of organic tissues, dissolution of mineral tissues, penetration of accessory canals. All the solution can penetrate accessory canals. Bactericidal, non-irritant, does not weaken the tooth. I think if you see all this function for solution, we have to use more than one solution. It's not one solution that would help us to perform all this desiderata. Well, irrigation, you will see that is the importance of microscope. You will see a lot of videos in this presentation, because I can explain you, I can show you slide, I can show you videos, I can show you pictures, I can show you radiography. But when you use the microscope, you will see reality. This is reality. So when the solution is clear, it means there is no debris. And then when you will activate, you will see that there is a lot of debris that go out. Even now we are with the irrigation, you will see debris coming out of the canal. What it means? It means that it's not clean, and we have to clean again. This is what we really see after shaping. You see all this debris, and we have to remove all this debris. These debris are in the coronal part of our cavity. Imagine the medial part on the apical part of our cavity. That's why we need to clean. As I told you, if there is one message that I want to take home message today is irrigate, irrigate, irrigate. Well, this is what you see, and we continue with copious irrigation, and you see the debris. These debris, we can see them without microscope. And when you don't have microscope, when you are in dental school or when you go to dental under training, the professor will tell you always copious irrigation, copious irrigation. But now you see why you have to perform a copious irrigation, because there is a lot of debris. And as I told you, this is coronal part. Imagine the third part. And this is the first was the mechanical action. Second is the chemical action. What you see here, what you see, these bubbles, is the champagne test. What it means? It means that sodium hypochlorite is digesting organic. The sodium hypochlorite is the only solution or the best solution to digest organic debris. So when you see this type of bubbles, it means that there is digesting. But what you can know also about this is that when you will have bubbles still coming out of your canal, it means it still have organic debris in your canal. So you have to irrigate more. And this is the image of what the canal looks like. Is it clean? No. We can see the dentinal tubula? No. So we have to clean it. And and we have bacteria, we have debris, organic debris, we have dentin mud, we have bacteria, we have necrosed tissues, and collagen. And for the bacteria in the canal, we have two types of bacteria: planktonic bacteria and biofilm. Planktonic is pretty easy to remove, and very often people using laser and they tell you that the laser kills bacteria. Yes, it kills bacteria. I mean laser diodes. So it kills bacteria, but it kills planktonic bacteria. How about biofilm? Biofilm laser don't kill bacteria and biofilm. The only the way to kill bacteria and biofilm is activation. So hypochlorite, sodium hypochlorite, antibacterial effect, digesting organic tissue, chlorhexidine, EDTA. EDTA is very active, it's acid active, so it will be active on the mineral part of the smear layer. So as I told you, the smear layer is a mix of dentinal debris, organic debris. So the organic debris will be digested with sodium hypochlorite, and mineral debris will be attacked by EDTA. EDTA, or some people can use as citric acid also. It depends. I use EDTA. The most used is EDTA. Alcohol and maybe cyanide. Method of irrigation: positive pressure, negative pressure, sonic passive, ultrasonic active, passive ultrasonic, laser, and multisonic. Today we're gonna speak about positive and negative pressure. You will see there is very cool device that we can use. The most common use of irrigation is positive pressure. What it means, positive pressure: we take a needle and we take a syringe, put a needle, and we make a pressure in the canal. The needle is hollowed and lateral hollow, and it will act more on the ducted walls, on the inner walls of the canal, and we will activate. We will activate how? As I told you, the example of the washing machine. We have to activate our washing machine, and it's really what you see. And when you see under microscope, when you see under microscope, you will see that you are acting like a washing machine in the canal. This ultra smart COXO will act like a washing machine in the canal. The most important, as I told you, as told Schilder, more important is what you remove from the canal. You have to remove, you have to clean the canal, 3D clean the canal, and then we'll talk about obturation. And this device, we can use it for 3 working methods: high power output for remove broken files. So it likes like the ultrasonic scaler. It's cordless and it's more convenient to use. Low power output, it's smart tip or clean canal. Middle power output, normal irrigation. This is our washing machine in the canal. This is the cool device that I told you. This device will act like positive pressure and negative pressure. Let me explain you, and you will see on the video. For this device, there is 2 bottles. One bottle is for the irrigation mode, and the other bottle for suction mode. So we will use positive pressure and negative pressure in the same time, and it's very useful. We have X-ray, we can change the cleaning mode. There is a bottle of waste and bottle of irrigant. So the flushing fluid will indicate you. We can use the flushing fluid in the canal. We make the needle in the canal as we use in our regular syringe, but it's active. There is pressure, and when you put your pressure, after that you will clean by suction. So you have, as I told you, 2 in the same use: flushing bottle, suction bottle. And one very important thing that I didn't told you is that when we heat sodium hypochlorite, we promote the liberation of chlorine, and it will be more and more effective. So it will be hot, positive pressure, and negative pressure. Very cool device. What about activation? I will show you activation. This is activation. So look at the liquid in the canal. The solution is pretty clear, and you see now a lot of debris. As I activate, more there is debris that come out from the canal. What it means? It means that these debris are in the inner walls of the root canal. So we have to clean them. We can activate like sometime like 1 minute per canal. 1 minute, yes, 1 minute per canal. It means like we're gonna remove all the debris. Why we remove all the debris? Because we have to clean, but we have to remove the debris. Even it's not, you see here a lot of debris from the distal canal. So we have to remove the debris because it promotes us also at the sealing of our obturation. We'll see that after. Look at the solution. The solution at first was clear. Look at how the solution is now. Let me show you again. Look at the solution now. Now the solution is clear. Look at the solution at the end. The solution is not clear. It means there is a lot of debris. And activation, maybe sonic or ultrasonic, the more important is activation. Activation promotes the removal of dentinal debris. Sonic or ultrasonic, no matter, activate. The most important is activation. So we need to see dentinal tubules. Why not see the dentinal tubule? We don't see, but what we see in clean canal is dentinal tubules. What we do with the dentinal tubules, because sealing of our obturation, final obturation, will be better with clean dentin. As I told you, we can use EDTA, chlorhexidine, QMix, chlorhexidine plus EDTA, but it's not good to mix. This is chemical. We don't need to use a lot of solution. We use sodium hypochlorite. We use a saline between the two solution and EDTA. And at the end, saline solution. And after, we can use sometimes sodium hypochlorite and activate it again in a clean canal to clean deeply the canal and the small isthmus. Let's go to the shaping. Shaping in reality is not a step. As I told you, shaping and cleaning is 2 steps, but in reality it's the same step because we shape the coronal part, we irrigate, then middle part we irrigate, and the apical part and we irrigate. And the aim of the shaping is to bring our solution to the deepest part of the canal. That is deep shaping. And we need to have flare at the entries, as I told you. So shaping, shaping, shaping. And we need to give chronicity for the obturation. We have to give taper, and this taper will promote the solution to the apical part of the canals. Obturation. Obturation is the end of the root canal treatment, but we will see that not all the obturation are the same. We will talk only about 3D obturation. We have to clean and have a clean canal, and when to seal, asymptomatic tooth and dry canal. Very important. And now with bioceramics, we are using more and more sometimes in not really dry canals. So that is something good with bioceramic. As I told you, there is something I want to talk about. What you see on the picture, you see four combs, but when you see on the I don't have. So what you see is 3 on the other part, on the shadow. So you see 4 cones, 3 shadows. It means in the radiography we have to change our radiography incidence to see reality. This is reality is 4, and the shadow is 3. Obturation with the gutta percha, 3-dimensional, very important. When you have anatomy, the first case left on the left is I have 10 years recall. The patient is a friend of mine. We were practicing sport together, and I saw him like a few months ago, and the tooth is very well. And it was very, very big infection, complete healing. This is the device we need for 3D obturation. It's very important. 3D obturation will perform in 2 steps. First step will be the down pack. Second step will be the backfill. The down pack, it will be the condensation of the gutta-percha until the apical part from 5 millimeters from the working length, and then we'll perform the backfill. So as you see here in the radiography, this is a retreatment, pretty easy retreatment. So working length, cone fit, and then this is what you see on the right. You see the down pack and the control of the apical obturation with a small puff. It means like there's good condensation, and then we use the Q-tag gun and we perform the backfill. So we inject our gutta-percha, hot gutta-percha in the canal. We perform like every time 3 or 4 millimeters to avoid bubbles, and then the obturation is done. The gutta gun is a heating machine that will inject gutta-percha for the backfill. This is a more important device. You have to use also pluggers. So as I told you, working length, cone fit, down pack, backfill, first backfill, second backfill. And you will have this kind of obturation. This is one of the very first obturation I've made, like in 2011, I think. And it was upper second molar, right upper second molar, yes. And as you see here, there is lateral canals on mesial root, palatal root. And this type of obturation, you cannot have this type of obturation if you do not respect the full 3D protocol. I mean, cleaning, activation, sodium hypochlorite, saline water, EDTA, and then maybe once again sodium hypochlorite, and then you have the obturation, the 3D obturation. And also, even it's canine, I think, and it's canine, I think it's premolar. Look at this anatomy. There is 2 lateral canals. You will tell me, if we don't obture these lateral canals, does it mean that we have a failure? No, maybe no. But what I want to explain you, that is, look at the control, the apical control of our obturation. It means that there is no cues of obturation from the apex. It means that the obturation is good. First one. Second, there is pressure on the canal. There is condensation, a warm vertical condensation on the canal. And when we made the condensation, the gutta, or there is anatomy. So the sealant will go out from the anatomy. It means that we clean them. We clean them with solution of irrigation, activation, and the full protocol. Same thing for this lower premolar. What you see very often, this is the example that I showed you in the first, in the beginning of my lecture. The sealer, very often what we have in lateral canals is more sealer than gutta-percha. But when there is a good condensation, sometimes there is also gutta-percha. So as I told you, this is the first example that I showed you. So this is a first upper molar, regular mesial canal. I prepare the mesial canal. And then, as I told you, I saw like 3 canals. I don't understand. Even if it was mesial, maybe it will be mesial MB1, MB2, and palatal. But this one, like, it means like distal 1, distal 2, distal 3, palatal 1, palatal 2, palatal 3. I don't know. So let's see. And when you see with microscope again, when you see better, you treat better, as Gary Carr told us. So this is the like distal canal, and what you see really, this is the C. It's a C-shaped molar, first molar. A very rare case. I think it's like 0.1% of frequency. It's very rare. When you clean the canal, you will see that is not only one, but two. Always activation, and you will see why I activate. I'm activating in the how I can call it the distal palatal root. There's only one root. The distal and the palatal root are in the same root. So I make my activation. I dry the canal, and when I dry the canal, you will see that I have 3 canals. You'll see 1, 2, 3. Palatal, distal, mesiopalatal, distal 2, distal 1, distal 2, palatal. So there's 3 canals, but there's only one POE. Portal of exit is the same. There is 3 canals, as we see with Bertucci classification. It's, I think, Bertucci type 7. Well, and the mesial canal, I search for MB2. There's no MB2. I search. It will be cool to have a route with 5 canals, but there's no MB2. Obturation, I make some sealant, on some sealer on my gutta percha cones. First gutta percha, second one, third one, and then we'll cut them with our gutta pen. Confit, I cut the coronal part of our canal. I make the down pack, and as you see, I have only one portal of exit for this distal palatal root. Obturation, backfill, and what I want to show you, this lateral canal. What does it mean? It means that I activate, I clean it with my solution, and I obturate 3D. So 3D cleaning and 3D obturation. Some anatomy. This is lower molar. Tooth number 46, and there is a distal canal, and there is three mesial canals, always obturation. This is a very good, a very cool obturation. What you see here is a regular premolar, lower premolar, regular one. I see one canal. I think we all see one canal. There is no lateral lesion. It means like a small apical lesion, but I don't see a lateral lesion, so I don't think there is a lateral canal. This is working length, obturation. Look at the anatomy. The anatomy, the lateral canal is in vestibular. It's not in mesial or distal. That's why we have to think 3D. And very often, sometimes there is lateral canal that comes on vestibular or on distal, and we don't, on palatal or on lingual. We don't see them very well, but look at this canal, look at this different angulation. This is real anatomy. This is real full protocol 3D. I mean, 3D cleaning, shaping, 3D and cleaning and shaping is the same step, and then 3D obturation. This is real 3D. Another example, what you see here, I have in my Ondo course, when I ask for people what you see here, a regular second premolar, tooth number 15. What you see, there is a canal, one canal, it seems like regular canal. How many POE? I don't see lateral canals, I don't see lateral lesion. So I see one canal. For me, it will be one POE. Look at this 3. So the main canal, we clean it and with our instrument. The other canal, we clean it with our solutions. Another example, look at this tooth. We can see barely the sorry, we can see barely the mesial canals. We can work them. Look at this anatomy on this tooth number 22. Look at this lateral lesion. There is no lateral canal, but there is like some 2 canals in the same canal. It's like a Vertucci type 2 or type 3. And look at the healing. I don't know how many times after. Same thing. There's canine, and look at this lateral canal in the apical part of this canine. So what it means that the cleaning is good, but the obturation is good. The obturation is good. It means like there is apical control of our obturation and injection of lateral canal. This is very beautiful distal canal. It's my neighbor in my clinic. I remember her. So it was in 2010, like 12 years ago. 12 years ago. So look at this anatomy and look at this healing only, sorry, excuse me. Look at this healing only 4 months. 4 months we have a healing. And after we had a full healing. Look at this big lesion. This big lesion, I think that a lot of people will extract the tooth. Another patient. So I showed this. I was just in the beginning of my activity in endodontics. So I knew a very famous endodontist from France, and I asked him, what do you think about this obturation? He told me, Ayoub, it seems like there's a root fracture because the lesion is so big, especially in distal canal. So the obturation is pretty good, and we'll see, wait and see. Look at the healing, look at the injection of the apical part, look at the distal canal, and look at the injection of sealer, and look how the bone is growing, and the sealer now is attached to the tooth. What it means? It means that there is healing. And as I say very often, I'm oral surgeon and endodontist, and very often I say to my colleagues, I build more bone as an endodontist than as a surgeon. And we are burning natural. We are building natural bone with our endodontics before and after. This is obturation, isthmus, very important. Always 3D. I know. Sorry. Look at this tooth. It is tooth number 46. And if you see here, there is 2 mesial roots and 1 distal root. Okay, so if we take another angulation, in reality there is three distal roots, 3 distal canals, and not only the 3 distal canals. Look at the isthmus in the apical part of the distal canal. You see, and the isthmus is obturated, and in this kind of tooth, if you don't clean and obturate the 3 canals, all the canals are separate. I mean, it means that there are 3 POE in distal root. It means that if you miss only 1 canal, it will be the failure. And For this tooth, I perform it without microscope. It's case a very old case, like more than 10 years, and I perform this tooth without microscope. So when I speak with some doctors in our endodontic course, some people told me, "Oh yes, but you have the good endo, but you have microscope." I have microscope since like 5 or 6 years, not more. But the most big part of the endo that I'm showing you today are without microscope. It's with passion. If you want to perform good on the orthodontics, like we do in life, it's passion. I like orthodontics that one, two, three, and look at the the apical part, the isthmus. Always 3D. Respect the 3D protocol. Predictability. Look at this tooth. It's a doctor. It's a friend of mine. So I perform big lesion. I know I made a radiography, take pictures, and I know that this picture it will be good healing. This is the obturation. Look at the injection for respect of the 3D protocol. And few months ago, the doctor come back, but he didn't restore. One thing that I have to tell you that the end of endodontics is not the obturation. The end of endodontics is the coronal restoration. You have to restore your tooth, composite, crown, uh, as you see, as you want, on the crown, everything. But the end of endodontics is the obturation, the restoration of the tooth. This is not the end. That's why I have a lot of cases like this when the endo is very good and you see the patient after no restoration, endo failure. And at the end, I want to show you endo is especially for anterior teeth. It's really pretty simple. I mean, what I tell very often to doctors, if a doctor cannot perform a single root, canal treatment in single root, like front teeth, incisor or canine, I don't think he's a doctor. He have to change his job. So this problem came from a bad endodontic treatment on frontal tooth, frontal teeth, sorry. Look at the bone, there's no bone. And this is a very old case that I made when I was student. So I make a bone block graft. I don't like this technique now, but 15 years ago it was the trend to make bone block graft. So look at the bone defect, and I grafted, and then I put an implant 6 months after. So look at this easy case of incisors. Incisors are not very difficult, and this case came from a failure for incisor. I can understand maybe for molar, but for incisor it's not very complicated. And for surgery, look at endodontic surgery or reconstructive surgery. And from it depends. I have a lecture endo versus implants, but natural tooth or natural root still better than implant. Implant are a very good solution. I'm also an implantologist. I'm oral surgeon. I like to perform oral surgeries and implants, but when you can preserve tooth, it's way more uh, better than implants. Look at this case. The patient was going to perform extraction or surgery, I don't remember. Look at how big is the lesion. I saw a patient, the three radiography is like few months. So look at the left, no bone, the second one, more bone, and the third one, more bone. The patient go living in Spain, so I didn't see then her again, but I hope the tooth is better. This is one of my first pictures when I bought a DSLR when I was student in Paris. And you know the Pyramide du Louvre, a very famous structure in the Louvre Museum in Paris. And I was very happy to make a picture like, postcards. And I was very happy to understand how it works. So I was with my DSLR working in Paris by night and taking picture of monuments of Paris. And I was very proud of this. But what I am very proud is my endos. There's this one, the upper right is it's my partner in my clinic. It's my friend and my partner in my clinic. So when I was beginning this endo, he told me, you know, you're gonna perform an endo on the incisor. I know at the beginning of the end. He has always his tooth, and look at this lateral canal on the incisor. Even for central incisor or incisor or canine, there is anatomy. When you respect the protocol, there is anatomy. That's it. I want to say thank you for listening today, and I respect the timing, full hour. Now we can ask the question. I'm here for a few questions. Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Ayoub, for your excellent course.
Okay.
And now let's check the comment. We will choose about 5 questions to answer here. And after the course, we need your help to reply under our Facebook Live. Then
Wait a
you, yes, and we still need your help to choose the best question to give the special gift.
Wait a minute. Where can choose the?
You can see the screen.
Okay, I see the
Yes, see
screen.
the screen.
Wait a minute, please. Like, I'm gonna see some questions.
Yeah, here the question. The hearing of the apical lessons depend just on 3D preparation and observation. What about
Wait,
the sealer and what do you use?
wait. Excuse me. I don't see the question.
You can
But
see the screen. We will show it
yeah.
on our screen.
Wait a minute, please.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Cube. A question. Oh, Mehdi Waram. Okay. The healing of the apical lesion depends just of 3D preparation and obturation. What about the sealer and what do you use? Okay. Um, Basically, I use a regular sealer, zinc oxide sealer, but there is sealers, bioceramic sealers. There is the trend now is for bioceramic sealers, but there is also a resin-based sealer. The most important is a good obturation, no matter what is the sealer. For resin sealer, I don't use resin sealer because of retreatment. The retreatment is more difficult on sorry on resin-based sealer. For wait a minute. For bioceramic sealers, for me it's more expensive, and I don't know. There's no interest. Maybe for few cases when the canal is not very dry, we can use bioceramic sealer. But bioceramic sealers, we can heat them. There is some brands that are they're working on heated bioceramics, but now we can heat bioceramics because if it's dry, it have to get moisture to take. So what I use zinc oxide regular of the sealer.
Okay. Let's see the next question.
Yes.
Yeah. The next is, do you do the endodontic treatment with all and any kind of pre-apical disease with regardless of the prognosis?
What it means about disease?
Okay.
What it means about disease? Do you do endodontic retreatment with all and any kind of disease, of periapical disease, regardless of the prognosis? Yes, there is a good prognosis for retreatment. It depends on the retreatment. If there is a regular retreatment, is there is broken pipe, is there is ledges, is there is, it depends. But yes, endodontic retreatment is well-known, therapeutic, and you can perform it in all cases, for sure.
Okay, let's see the next one. What is your choice of series for acute or chronic cases?
And chronic cases,
Yes.
as I told you, it will be the same sealer. I'm using always the same sealer for all cases. Zinc oxide sealer, it's cheap, it's efficient, and I don't need to use expensive sealers. I can use expensive sealer, but there's no interest for that. It's a regular sealer, zinc oxide based sealer.
Okay. The next one.
Why is the and filled side channels in the failure on the good treatment in the case of filling by cold condensation method compared in thermal filling? Yes, as I told you, when you see isthmus, when you see lateral canals, it's not, it's, you don't have to fill all lateral canals, and there is a lot of lateral canals that we don't observe. When you see anatomy, it means that you have a good cleaning. When you see 3D, it means that your 3D cleaning is good. It's the confirmation that your 3D cleaning is good. As I told you, as Albert Schiller told us, the most important is what we remove. When you see anatomy, it means that you removed from the anatomy and the canal is clean. This is the most important thing. But if you don't make obturation of this lateral canal, of this isthmus, it's not, it will be better to obture, especially for isthmus, but for lateral canals, it's not so important. But for cold obturation, cold condensation is not a 3D. It's hermetic, yes, but it's not 3D obturation. You can have 3D. You can have 3D only by heating gutta percha and condensing. So there is no vertical condensation. Lateral condensation is less effective than vertical warm condensation, for sure.
Okay. Then the next one.
How many cycles for activation of sodium hypochlorite do you recommend? I recommend to see. If you see, as I show you on my videos, when you see that there is debris, dentinal debris on your canal, I use 5 cc. I use a syringe of 5 cc for every canal and every instrument. So you pass one instrument for every canal, I use 5 cc. But if you see that is still debris when we activate, you still irrigate and clean until there's no debris. If you don't have microscope, you have to use 5 cc every instrument for every canal, for sure.
Okay. Next one.
Extrusion of sealer out of apex or radiography, is that evidence of good apical seal? Uh, there is a lot of there is a lecture for that, puff or not puff. The puff extrusion of sealer, small extrusion of sealer means that the condensation is good, and we can't we have a radiography, 2D radiography. To control our radiography, to control our obturation, there is signs. One of the signs is after obturation of anatomy. This is a sign of there is good condensation. Another sign is when we see apical puff, it means that there is a good control of apical preparation and apical obturation. So have a puff, for me, yes, it's a sign of good obturation.
Okay. Then let's see. How do I know that I have straight and clean?
How do I know? Tick, tack, tack. How do I know? What was the question? How? No, where is the question? I don't see it.
Wait a moment.
Yes, okay. I think the question was, how do I know if I
Yeah, there are many questions.
Yes. How do you know? As I told you, there is science. There is science. The most important in endodontics is the protocol. Respect your protocol every time. Don't be lazy. Always use sodium hypochlorite, saline, and then EDTA. Activate every solution and use copious irrigation. This is the most important for cleaning. So use sodium hypochlorite, big concentration, 2, 2.5 or 5 maybe. So it will be a good cleaning, and then activate and copious irrigation. This is the good cleaning. And you will have sign of good obturation and good preparation when you will have anatomy. When you have anatomy, it means that you cleaned well and your obturation is three-dimensional. Another question?
Yes. This one, if there is no vital case or upper molar that is loose inside the maxillary sinus, what is the recommendation?
If there is non-vital case on upper molar, there is a root inside the maxillary sinus. There is no roots inside maxillary sinus. There is always bone between the sinus, the maxillary sinus, and the root. This is anatomy. This is morphogenesis of the root. There is always a cortical bone between the root and but when we see that the root is in the sinus, it's a superposition. If you take a 3D, and as a surgeon, I can tell you this, if you take a 3D, you will see that it seems like in the sinus, but it's superposition. The sinus is not flat. In the sinus, there is like valleys and mountains. So the mountains are sometimes peaks of, there is on the other side, there is a root that is in the area of the sinus, but it's not in the sinus. Well, and if you have a good control of your cleaning and shaping, there is no problem. You can operate without any problem. And as I told you in the preparation, one of the things that you can use is the endomotor with apex locator. With the apex locator, when you arrive at the apex, the motor will stop and will stop. So you will leave the apex as smallest as possible. There is a lot of philosophies. Some of the philosophies are to prepare the apex, others don't prepare. So I don't prepare so much the apex. So you keep the apical constriction, and then you will have apical control of your obturation, and then there's no problem with maxillary sinus, maxillary roots near the sinus, but not in the sinus.
Okay, so that's all for the questions, and we still need your help to reply the question under our Facebook Live. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
your excellent course.
Okay, thank you, and see you next time.
Okay, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's all for our Facebook Live. See you next time.